Hello everyone, it's me, the Cannabis Reviewer. For those of you on my GROWSS page, I also go by the name of Nighthawk. So you can call me either one, really. We're going to start a new thing on the GROWSS page. We're updating it. We're going to have another Growbox design. And I'm going to design it. I have designed it. See right here. And we're going to build it. I'm going to show it to you step by step. I must tell you first, this is a rough design. It's more of an artwork to get me started. So what I'll do here, we're going to go through and I'll figure out what I'm going to need to get these done. First off, start off, each one of these are going to be inside, even though they don't look it, they're going to be inside these. These are 2x4s. And these are 2x2s. So we're going to make two frames, two squares. This is going to be 2 foot. And this here, so it's 2x2 Growbox by 6. And these are just averages. These aren't the actual cuts. This is kind of what I wanted to do. So looking at this here, we're looking at it from the back side. This back here is the door, so this would be mounted. If I was going to mount it, this would be mounted to the other Growbox. For now it's not, but this is the back here, this side, and then the air conditioning will go over here, along with whatever intake vent if I decide to take the air conditioning out at some point. Top, bottom. Top and bottom is going to be 1/2 inch plywood. It's going to be this, which you don't see it, but there's plywood under here. I've put up here, and I'm basically using that plywood as a table for my cuts. Okay, so we know that we need to put these inside of these 2x4s, this frame, and the 2x4 is going to be right on the edges of the 2 foot by 2 foot, so 48 inches by 48 inches. We also know that 2x4s aren't really 2x4s. They're 1.5 inches by 2 3/4, I believe. And what we care about is the 1.5 inches. Since we're going to come on the inside of both of these, front and back, 2x4s, we need to cut this 3 inches shorter than 2 foot. So 2 foot's 21, so 2 foot's 24. 24 minus 3 inches is 21 inches. So this one needs to be 21, and so does this one, because they're the same. Okay, so those are 21 inches, and now that takes care of it going from all the way from this end to this end. Now we got to attach this one to this right here on this corner to this other 2x2. So these 2x2s are also 1.5 inches. Same goes here. We're going to need to attach this to the other end of this 2x2, and we know, so 1.5 inches, that's another 3 inches off. So turns out this will also be 21 inches, and so will this. So this will be 21 inches. And we're going to do the same thing up here. This is not actually going to sit on top. It'll sit down, and then we'll have down this way to where this whole edge is the top, where the top sits. And so we'll have these two, and then I'll add additional support if I need to up here, probably for the air. So I'm going to bring the air conditioning up high and have it come down. Okay, so now this is what we need. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 8. Two by 2 by 21 inches. We need we need 4 6 foot 2x4s. So one's going way up here. And I already got those pre-cut. And then we need 2 1/2 inch plywood. That is 2 foot by 2 foot. We'll do that one last after the frames. We'll get these two frames put together. Like I said, these are cut already. So we'll get the frames put together first. Then we'll cut out the bottoms. Then we'll mount it all together. And then we'll cut out the sheetrock, which I have for it. The sheetrock's going to basically sit, since these are inset, this one's inset and this one's inset, it's gonna mount to this one and sit on the inside of these 2x4s here, inside of them. And these here will mount to flush because there's going to be a door on this side, but these will mount in, be offset inside a little bit. Okay, so that's the design. Let me push it right back there. Don't worry about that. It was originally the front. Like I said, this was just kind of a rough draft on what we're going to do. Also, let me show you real quick how the door's going to be designed. We'll end up probably with 2 doors once again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to just leave one of these off. And I thought about having just one solid door, but I don't think it's real good. So we'll probably do this like we did the other Growbox, where I have a 4-foot section and I have a 2-foot section. Well, actually, it's going to be 3 and 3 because I'll have that frame. So it'll be 3, 3, 3 foot and 3 foot. And we'll just have 2 of them coming across. That'll be the plan. 2 doors. Just like we did on the other one. And it'll slide in to this frame. And I also am going to be mounting one down here too. I forgot to mention that. So we're going to need 12, not 8. That's not bad though, because the boards I have, I can cut 2 of them. And we'll see here next. I'll show you what the boards are and we'll talk about that next. This is a Cannabis reviewer. We'll be right back and I'll show you what we're going to use to make the Growbox material. At least we'll make the frame right now. The material we're going to use, the tools we're going to use, and everything. Be right back. Alright, this is the Cannabis reviewer. Fix that. Alright, this is the Cannabis reviewer. We're back. These are all the materials that we're going to use. First off, let's talk about the boards right here. As you can see, I got 9, 10. So I have 10 boards that are 45 inches. I'll show you when we get up there. I marked on it right there. And so I need 21 inches. So that's 21 inches. So I got more than enough to get the frames built. And then I also have 2, these are 24 inches or 2-footers. This is 45, so we'll have more than enough. And that'll follow this that we just talked about with all the bullshit markings all over it. It'll do though, I know what I'm doing. So what are we gonna use? So what are we gonna use for this? Well, we're going to use screws. Let me actually pick this up and we'll zoom in. It's probably going to be better now that we're at this place. I'll show you what I'm going to use. I think I will switch out the saw blade though. We're going to use obviously a circular saw, but right now I've got a plywood blade on that. I'm going to put a larger one on it because these don't cut well with plywood. They're not plywood. But 2.5 inch by 9s, we're going to use that because when we go into there, you can see it'll go through real well. So we're going to use those, and they're treated so they won't rust or anything. I'm going to have the drill with the drill bit. We're going to have, and I've not ever used this before, so it'll be interesting. I've always just used a drill for everything. So we're going to use this little baby here and Porter cable. We'll see if it works. What else? The bit, of course, T25, a ruler to mark it, glue. We always glue the pieces together. Square, awesome. So it allows you to make sure you have square cuts on everything. Square lines, easy. Protection. Another nice tool I like. This aligns, it's a clamp that will allow me to line all of them up into nice good squares, clamp it down with the glue in here, and then drill it and screw it, boom, and then I'm good to go. I usually turn it the other upside down the other way, but I wanted to show you how it looks this way. But I usually get it all tight and I turn it this way. Lock it down. You get the idea. Glue it, lock it. It really does a great job. So I'll change that blade out, which I should have done probably before I made this talk, but we'll get the blade changed. Then we'll mark these down, all 21 inches, all of these. And we'll start cutting. And then we'll assemble with glue, drill, screw it in with the 2.5ers. Get those done first. So we'll have 3 frames ready to go. I've already got the 2x4s. They're right here. They're pre-cut, ready to go, 6 foot. I brought an extra couple of 2x2 furring strips in case I needed it. And I also got another sheet of 1/2 inch. This is a 1/2 inch that we'll use. And this is the 3/8 inch sheetrock that we're gonna use. It's about the cheapest thing I can find besides plastic. And I know everyone does tents, but I don't really think plastic does a good job when it comes to the moisture level. But I'm probably dumb that way. I'm old school. I'd rather build something that weighs fucking 50 pounds, you know? Stupid. 100 fucking pounds. So anyway, that's the plan though. So I'll be back and I'll show you the markings. And I'll show you how I mark one of them. Then we'll go through and I'll mark the rest, because once you see it the first time, you know how it's done. Then we'll cut and you know, knock it out, like I said, one step at a time. Time to mark them. I put down 6 of them because I'm going to need 12 based on what we talked about with the frame. And I've put the tape down. And we're going to do it, measure it from both ends, and that way we don't have to worry about accounting for the blade thickness. Otherwise, the second piece will be off by a little bit because the blade has a thickness to it. So you see what we're doing. I'm going to zoom in. And then I'm going to take, first I'll take the red here and I'll mark it. And I make sure I know where that mark is. It's a lot of the pros put the V in there so they can see where it lines up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see that it's just a little bit off. So I'll know where to do it. So then you slide that out the way. Get out the way. And then you do the first one. Now there is a trick to this if you want to kind of cheat. Some people will, some people won't. And that's to slide them all together and then mark a bunch of them. So I'll mark the first one, and I'm going to use, I'll use this. But before I do, I'm still here. Before I do, I've got this wood block that I can lay up against it. Straighten them all out. Get them exactly right. Hopefully get them exactly right, at least the top 3. And now, all I have to do is take this thing, and remember it was just, now this takes a little practice to get the line right. Now 3 of them have been done real quick and easy. That end. And then we lay this out. I'll zoom out here. We'll lay this back out. Upside down, but that's okay. Zoom back in. I'm going to slide this down a little bit because it's harder for me to to get this mark from the side. And I do want it right. So there's that. And then, okay, and then come back down here. Line these three up with a piece of wood so they're all the same. Which really isn't too difficult. Doesn't have to be perfect, people. You want it good and close, but there we go. You're not going to notice at all. You're not going to notice at all if it's off by fucking 30 seconds. Now, the other thing I like to do, my buddy taught me, since we've been kids forever, and is to X off. This is for you, Bob. X off the parts that you're not going to use, so that way when you make cuts, you don't fuck up. Now this is obvious because these are small, but either way, you never know you don't fuck up and use the wrong piece. Some people will even write down what the measurement is for each one of these to make it real easy. But they're all the same measurement for me, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so that was the first one. I'll do the second set. I'll come back, show you me cutting them. Super exciting, I know. And then we'll show you me putting them together. Step at a time, guys, step at a time. This is a Cannabis Reviewer. Be right back, guys. Hey, we're back. Change of plans. Instead of using the hand tool for that and having to swap out, I'll continue to use, I can use that for the 1/2-inch plywood, leave that alone, grab out my miter saw, which is the right thing to be using anyway, because it'll make cutting it super simple and easy. It's really nice. You just pop it open, grab your piece of wood, line up your blade, hit the button, zing zing, zing zing. Done. Makes it quick and easy to cut these. I'm going to talk more, take me longer to talk about it than it will be when I cut them. I'll cut the first one and show you. I don't know how loud it's going to get for everyone, so you might want to turn the volume down. And I'll zoom in on it. See if I can zoom in on it. Maybe come from the side a little. These are for the noobs that haven't really done this kind of work before. I'm not a pro. I'm just a hobbyist that does it. I figure if I can do it myself, why not? I'm a DIYer, I admit it. Okay, so here we go. Check this out. Bring this back down. Line it up with that beautiful red mark I put. Bring it back up. Like butter. So there's the first two pieces right there. Not off too bad. Pretty good, really. Pretty damn good. I guess you guys can't see that. It would help if I showed you, huh? See? Not bad. So, I will cut the rest of them up using this. It won't take me long. And then the next step will be starting putting the frames together. It's going to be cool. Looking forward to it. Alright, we'll be right back after I get all this cut and we'll start putting it together. Alright, we're back. Didn't take very long. Got them all cut. 21 inches. And now those are the extra pieces left. Next step will be assembly, and we'll follow that sheet that I put together, the design. This design sheet. We'll follow this. Make sure I don't fuck it up. But if I do fuck up a little bit, I have extras. You always want extras. We'll be back. We'll start the assembly. All right, this is what the frame's gonna look like laid out. I haven't put it together yet. I just want to lay it out to make sure that all my measurements are correct first. We'll talk about this first. Once again, just to make sure we understand. So the frame's on the inside like this, on the inside of these two and these two, but they go all the way out to the edge on these ends because these are just 2x4 straight. So we're going to need 24 because it's 2 foot front to back, and 21 this way because to account for the extra 3 inches for the 2x4s. So if I got all my measurements right, and we're looking at this, it's very similar to that. Basically, if we did it, you know, kind of like that, where that's the back side of it, we're going to get, so there's your 21. So that will be, that'll be going across here. And then this should be 24. And that's the front. Hopefully you guys can see that. So yeah, that's kind of the plan, how we're going to do it. And then we'll have the 2x4s basically sit outside of them. So if we're going to mock this up even more, another level, we'll have it there, and we'll have another one here, like that, right? So that is what this looks like. And now if you measure that, that will now be 24. That should go all the way to the edge. Let me bring that down. See? 24. So that's the plan. And we'll start putting it together. And it should look pretty good. One step at a time. The only other question is, do I want to use those? I'm going to try to use those 2.5ers. We don't have a lot of room in here to really get 2 of them in because it's only 2 inches. But I'm going to drill them with a drill bit first, pre-drill. So I shouldn't split the wood, which is what I'm really worried about. As long as I don't get too crazy, it should be okay. That's the next step. But I wanted to show you the frame put together first. I think it's a good way to show, mock it up real quick and make sure it's kind of what you want based on your design.